So I know Beast Wars is all the rage again. Everyone's talking about Beast Wars now, but haha! Cyberverse beat you to it. They brought back Cheetor way before anyone was super hyped up over the return of Beast Wars. And then they waited till 3 other Cheetors were released before making a good one. We need to have a talk about timing, Cyberverse.
Warning, this video is intended for adult collectors. It contains plastic collectibles, questionable opinions, and the foremost Kamen Rider Decade apologist. Do not panic. This is just a random review.
Before we begin, thank you very much to Right You Overlord Ben. He chipped in over at patreon.com/TJOmega because he wanted to keep the videos coming and wanted to keep this channel afloat, and I thank him very much for helping me do so. And of course, if you just want to help out for free, the like and subscribe buttons are right there. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So let's actually talk about a cheetah. We will talk about the brand new if I looked at it at the listing, it said Warrior Class Cheetor at the store. However, it is definitely the deluxe style figure that Cyberverse was doing with the Build-A-Figures. It was also in the same wave. So I'm going to call it a deluxe Cheetor from Cyberverse, regardless of what the toy listing at Walmart told me. And for that, we are looking at a nice yellow and brown cheetah covered in the traditional cheetah spots. Exactly what you would expect of a Cheetor. We look at him from his side, for instance. He does have the right shapes. They are kind of oddly created, however, because he's using his robot mode bulk in a weird way to get his beast mode where it should be. So if I fix my focus a little bit, and we'll take another look at him, the Cheetah Head actually looks pretty cool. They did a little bit of line detailing to bring it out. Bright green eyes, brown on the jaw, which is a little weird, but the jaw does open, so you can actually get a little bit of expression out of him. We see a little bit of bronze color painted on the back of his neck. Kind of matches in with the brown. Not quite, but it gives him a little bit of variety. All the forearm, completely brown. You know what's weird about this to me is if you look at the top of it, it looks like there's a ball joint molded in there, but it's not. It's just detailing. It's like the ball joint tried to spawn and couldn't spawn through the figure. To use video game terminology to describe it, it's weird. It's an odd look. Like a ball joint was supposed to be here, but we engineered it out and couldn't be bothered changing the look. So fake ball joint it is. And if we look around, he's got a lot of weirdness. So we can see his robot mode arms form the bulk of the cheetah chest, which does give us some weird things, like some pointy bits right there on the front. But you know, he's got his spots there, so okay, fine. It's a cheetah chest, whatever. Going down into the legs. One thing I'm not a fan of is the proportions we have going on here, because his robot mode legs just fold into the cheetah legs, and then these extra cheetah legs are not his robot mode arms, so the proportions on them are a little bit weird. His back legs are massive compared to his front legs, so proportionally I find a little bit of weirdness to him. But beyond that, he looks fine. Like, beyond that, my only real complaint about the look of the beast mode is, well, one, really hollow back legs, but it's Cyberverse, what do I expect? And I really wish there were some cheetah spots on the back. It looks a little bit weird to see this much yellow without anything breaking it up. So that's a little bit odd. For detail and articulation, aside from the joints in the jaw, you can see he's got all the points of articulation from the robot mode legs, so he can actually get a lot of range of expression. His shoulders here are ball jointed. They don't have as much range as that you would hope, though. They kind of get in the shape of them gets in the way, and you do get the elbows here. So he actually does have quite a bit of range for his cheetah mode. I wish his head had some. That's about the only grievance I have. So the gimmick to this figure is armor. He comes with armor, and that's not flip out like the Ultras. No, you just attach it. So he's got 5 bits of energon armor. We're going to go ahead and pluck onto him. Pluck onto? That's not how plucking works. What am I talking about? It's late. I've shot 4 of these already today. So I'm going to plug the claws onto the front of his feet. I'm going to take these. I'm going to use that little peg to go into that little hole in the back of his shoulder. Actually, I got the wrong side, so let's plug this one in here. Let's plug this one in. There we go. And then do the same on the opposite side. And then we'll go ahead and put this cheetah mask on. And that's going to give us a powered up look at Cheetor's beast mode. And I dig this. I actually really like the look of this. Now, it does force his articulation a little bit, because now he's got those big swords in the way. His shoulders are even more restricted. But beyond that, he still does just about everything he did before, and he does have this cool like attack mode aesthetic to him. I actually like the blades coming off the shoulders. That actually looks really good. What battle cat? What's a battle cat? You're talking nonsense now. This is in no way aping any other form of armoring up predatory cat. No, this is doing its own thing. I'm not telling you to buy this toy and repaint its armor red and repaint the rest of him green with orange stripes. I'm not telling you to do that. Grimlockamus, are you watching? Anyway, let's go into the actual robot mode. So we've gotten that. I will also point out, this is the only spot where an Autobot symbol appears, is on the armor, which is kind of interesting because he didn't join the Autobots until later on in Cyberverse. So, to transform him, big surprise, we're going to straighten out the legs. Woo! We're breaking new ground here. All right, and then the rest of it is actually a little bit different. So, these panels, you have to be careful because they're just tiny little hinges holding these panels on, and they plug in really tight to a couple spots here. So I'm going to be very careful to keep that piece on its hinge so I don't stress or break anything. Getting these in is a pain. Like, these don't want to go in all the time for me, so it's kind of weird to get those into the proper positions. But once they are, okay, fine. Right, so I'm going to fold these out. Sorry. Beast mode legs need to fold down here. And they'll kind of go in, they'll kind of like go against the kibble, but they won't be able to fold into it or anything. As long as we can get the chest completely spread out like this, it's fine. For the midsection, we're going to have to do something we haven't done in a long time on our Transformer and collapse it. There's a slide joint, which they don't do anymore because slide joints do not hold up well over time. Weird choice, but okay. We'll see how well this toy survives time. There's a lot of hinges to get the head up to where it goes, but it doesn't take too many. It's not a weird like bit of folding to get the chest down to where it needs to be. So a lot of hinges, but it's not like intimidating. So that's going to give us Cheetor in the robot mode, and he's a little bit taller than I anticipated. So let me fix this, and we'll talk about that transformation a little bit. He's fine. I mean, he doesn't have like too many like super clever bits. I do see sometimes where Cyberverse Deluxes actually can pull an interesting transformation trick or two. This really isn't one of them because he is a Cheetor. He does have a kind of straight-laced way of doing things, and he doesn't really deviate from what I would expect a Cheetor to do. Aside from maybe the slide being an unexpected treat, he's pretty simple. Not terribly offensive to transform. He's fine. He's just fine. When we look at the robot mode, now I'm getting the Cheetor from Cyberverse I really wanted. The proportion problems that I had with the beast mode are completely gone here. Here, he looks like the guardian of the Allspark I would expect from a Cyberverse Cheetor toy. Looking very nice, well proportioned, very cool. One of the cooler designs Cheetor's ever had, if I'm going to be completely honest here. We'll get him into focus so we can take a look at his head. And he does have that vaguely feline face to him that the Cyberverse Cheetor did have. Oh, I stand corrected. Autobot symbol right there on the shoulder now. So, yeah, he's looking cool. looking very, very nice. I'm not sure how I feel about this big collar around him, but that's more of an articulation issue than a visual issue. I still think he looks really, really cool. So looking at the robot, I'm happy with the color layout. We've got some of that bronze paint here on the thighs and the forearms to break up all of that yellow. The nice blue that we know Cheetor for really comes through here on the legs and pelvis. And yeah, he's got plenty of his spots exposed. So I guess that's kind of why they limited the spots in the beast mode. So the robot mode would have all the spots in the right place. Okay, fine. I will accept that. Now, prioritize the robot mode. That's what we do sometimes. I do wish there was something to do with his tail. His tail doesn't come off, and there's no real way to like hinge it out of the way. There's no way to fold it up. There's a way to make it offensive, but also there's no real way to like tuck it up so it's not in the way of everything. I'd really like to just fold up behind his back, but c'est la vie. So yeah, really, really nice in the proportion. If I check the articulation, the ball joint in the head puts in a nice little bit of work. It swivels, but doesn't get a whole lot of up and down, so don't rely on it for that. Bicep, nothing in the bicep this time, but shoulders, ball jointed. The beast mode legs do get in the way a little bit, so he does have a little bit of limitation in the range on the shoulder. 360 degrees on the bicep joint itself, 90 degree there at the elbow. Wrist is ball jointed, so you can rotate it all the way around and fold it in, should you deem it necessary. Waist rotation works. Full motion here in the ball jointed hips. Thigh swivel works fine. Knees, 90 degrees. Excellent. This might give you a problem because these don't lock in too well, but you do also have an ankle tilt. So for a Cyberverse, lots to go on in the actual articulation range. And yeah, looking really, really cool while he does it. Of course, that's the Cheetor thing, right? Let's look cool while he's doing something, basically. So we can armor him up in this mode as well. It works a little bit differently here. Now, if I remember the instructions right, the actual instructions kind of want me to attach his, if I can get it right here, I believe the instructions wanted me to actually like use his mask, as some kind of like forearm weapon. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because his head, his cheetah head, is on so many hinges that we can unfold it a little bit and just attach it straight back to where it went and give him an armored chest, which I absolutely prefer. The claws now go up here. They're going to be shoulder armor. It's a very, this is where I get a little bit hesitant because these can fit in pretty tight. And remember, these are translucent plastic, so care is recommended when plugging in and removing these particular bits of parts. There we go. And then, of course, the swords, well, he just holds on to the swords this time. I know this is like a really sloppy demonstration, but he's a little bit misconfigured at the moment. But when he's got all that armor on, he looks exceptionally cool. I actually really like it. The green is a nice hit of Energon color for him. The armor does give him a nice powered up look, especially if you do use the mask on the cheetah head. And yeah, I'm not offended by this. The deluxes, I do wish continued with the Build-A-Figure thing, but in lieu of that, I don't really mind having some nice accessory play like this, especially when it works in both modes and you can really do something kind of cool with him no matter which mode you've got him in. And that, my friends, is Deluxe Class Cheetor from Cyberverse. It's a worthy figure for the character. A few oddities in the beast mode, but once we get to robot mode, buttery smooth. Like, I don't really have any complaints with him there. He is very nice looking, he's very well detailed, and yeah, I actually really like his accessory gimmicks. They work pretty well in both modes, no less. And yeah, he's just nice and solid all the way around. If you still need Cheetors, because hey, we're not getting enough Cheetors these days, go ahead and pick them up. I absolutely think he is a worthwhile figure for your collection, especially if you're into Cyberverse. If you like the story in Cyberverse, he's an absolute must. You're going to get him, and you're not going to be disappointed. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.